Fiona, are you there? I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry about this. I mean, I just never ever in a million years would have guessed that I'd end up with cancer. And now to think that on top of that, I've landed myself into a lengthy hospital stay. Well, I just wanted to say how sorry I am for causing you so much worry.
You're trying to sorry to me for this? Are you kidding me? Do you think that you can just say that and be done with this? This isn't something you can just fix with an apology. You do realize that Tina is going to be trying to get into that really nice private high school next year, don't you? Why on earth did you have to go and get cancer now?
I really am so sorry about this. You have to believe me. Obviously, I can really appreciate just how bad the timing for all of this is.
The problem is much bigger than that now, Mark. I mean, where are we supposed to get the money to pay for your treatment, huh? You do realize that we're already spending so much money sending Tina to those after-school tutors and things like that, right? I mean, we even had to ask your parents and ask them for help with paying for all of that.
I know, but it's just... Well, first of all, I think that insurance would cover my treatment up to a certain point at least. And then that means that we'd at least buy a little cushion before we really had to pay for the treatment. So, I don't think that there's all that much of a need to be worrying about paying for this.
But either way, we're going to have to pay for it, won't he? I mean, you'll still probably have to pay some huge fee up front, and it won't be later until that insurance company will send you a check, right? I'm sorry, but I don't think you're taking this nearly as serious as you should be. How can you be so optimistic?
I'm not really trying to be optimistic or anything like that, but we have good insurance, and I think that that's worth being grateful for.
I'm sorry, but who is the one who handles the budget for the house? Oh, that's right, it's me. So I don't know where you get off acting like you know so much about our financial situation. Just tell me, about how much is going to cost you to your treatment and for you to stay in the hospital, huh?
I don't know the amount, but I am telling you that our insurance will cover it. You're right. We will have to pay for things up front, but then we'll get the money back later. I mean, that's kind of the whole reason that you sign up for insurance in the first place, to use it when you get sick.
I know what people have insurance for, thank you very much, but I just really don't like actually having to use it. Especially like this. I mean, it's bad enough you're in the hospital, but cancer? We just have no idea how long you're going to need treatment and how long it will be until you're fully recovered after that.
Well, the doctor was saying that it might be possible to do a slightly invasive surgery early on and try and remove the cancer cells. Of course, they can't guarantee that the cells haven't already spread to other parts of my body, but... Well, why am I explaining all of this to you? You were there with me when the doctor said all of this, remember?
I know that I was there when the doctor said all this, but I was just so upset that I was barely even listening. And what about your work, huh? How are you even going to keep up with that? Even if you take a break now, it's not like you'll be able to go straight back right away.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be really difficult for me to go back to work after this. But I guess I am just so thankful that I'm part of a loving and caring family and that I can count on you for some help.
Count on me for help? What is that supposed to mean? Are you telling me to go out and get a job or something like that?
I mean, I think that it wouldn't be so bad if you got out and found even a part-time job or something like that, you know? After all, you realize that with all the time I'm taking off, I'll be getting a reduced salary for these periods, right? So I think that we're just going to have to help each other out where we can. You know what I mean?
I can't believe what I'm reading right now. Not only are you trying to use up all your money to treat your cancer, but now you're ordering me to go out and find a job. Just who in the world do you think you are, huh? What makes you think that you can just talk to me this way?
Fiona, please. I'm not ordering you to do anything at all. But I think that I need some help right now, and I don't get why you're so opposed to doing so. I mean, you and I are husband and wife for crying out loud. I thought that we were supposed to help each other.
Of course we're supposed to help each other, But you can just say that every time you want me to do something that I don't want to do. That's basically the same thing as ordering me around. And meanwhile, you get to sit back and relax in your nice big comfy hospital bed. Is that right?
I'm sorry, but I think that you must be really mistaken with how I'm feeling about all of this. And just what is it with you anyways? I'm not looking for pity, but I just found out I have cancer. Why are you acting this way towards me?
Why wouldn't I be acting this way towards you after all that crap you put me through? You got sick, but all the duties of keeping up with life fall on me. How is that fair? You're my husband, but you don't seem to be interested in going to any of the work that a good husband should. Instead, you're just putting all the work on my shoulders.
Fiona, please, for the last time, this has nothing to do with that at all. I mean, do you think I like having to have these conversations? It's not like I chose to get cancer or anything like that, you know? I just don't get why you can't be a little more understanding about all of this.
You want me to be understanding? You want me to pile up all the work on myself just because you asked me to? Well, what if I say that I don't want to, that I refuse to?
Well then, I guess we'll just have to think of another solution for this problem. But we have to think about Tina as well. So I just don't think that we should assume that everything is going to be okay if nothing changes.
Oh yes, of course. You just know everything about everything, don't you? Well anyways, I have some shopping to do, so you just have fun thinking while you lie in bed doing nothing.
Hey Fiona, are you there? I was just thinking about you and kind of wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. I can't wrap my head around this. All I was trying to suggest was that we try and think of a way to get through this together. But I don't think that you had to go so far as to do what you do next.
Oh, you wouldn't happen to be talking about the divorce, would you? I take it that Tina did as I asked and brought you the paperwork, yes?
But I'm not done with you. I mean, first of all, why in the world would you make our own daughter do that? Do you really think that it's appropriate to make your own daughter file her parents' divorce? That just seems pretty cruel, even if she did understand what was going on.
Well, I didn't want to see your face at all. That's also why I gave the papers to Tina to go and bring them to you at the hospital so that you could sign them. And besides, she did it all just fine.
That's not really what I'm talking about. I think you're ignoring the fact that our daughter would smile through anything, no matter how badly she was hurting inside. And I think that that's what was happening with this thing with the divorce. But I think that you still just don't involve your children in the actual back and forth of the divorce. That should be between the married couple.
Well, I just told you that I really didn't feel like seeing your face at all, and I certainly didn't want to have to hear any complaints that you might have had for me about this. So that's why I asked Tina if she would mind, and she said that she guessed that she didn't, so there.
I just don't get how you could ask Tina to do something like that. That just seems so selfish to me. How could you be so cruel?
I'm sorry, but you're the only one who got sick and put your whole family in this situation in the first place. But now we don't need you since you're like this. Anyway, stop dragging this out any longer than it needs to be. Sign the damn papers and let's get this over with.
I realize that this sickness was a shock for everyone, but that still doesn't explain away what you did at all. Just because I'm in the hospital, that doesn't mean that you can be asking such horrible things from your daughter.
Yeah. I guess I'll remember that for the next time I have a cancerous husband lying around in a hospital bed. But anyways, can you just sign the paper so we can be done with this? Because if you say no, then I might have much worse plan for Tina. So think carefully about your answer.
You really are horrible. Do you know that? I just still can't believe that you would use Tina like this.
That's right. I'm always the villain, aren't I? Blame everything on me. But anyways, what are you going to do? Have you made up your mind?
Well, I suppose it's really a divorce or nothing at this point, right? That seems to be the only thing that'll make you happy.
Aw, well, thank you so much for suggesting that. Okay then, if that's what you really want to do, I'll be over shortly to get the paperwork, so hurry and sign it.
Well, I said that we could get a divorce, but I'm not gonna just sign the papers just like that. I mean, if we're gonna do this, I want to do this right and in an office with lawyers, not like this. So you'll just have to wait a little while longer.
Wait, what? Why would you say that? What difference does it make what difference does it make now or when we get divorced if we're just getting divorced anyways?
Well, this is all so sudden and there's just a lot of affairs that I need to put in order. And I'm sure that Tina has a lot of things that she needs to do and think about as well with all of this.
Well, you do realize that Tina is going to be coming with me, right? Because if you thought that we were going to be fighting about custody, there isn't a fight to be had.
And just what makes you think that you can just make that decision so unilaterally?
Well, come on. I'm the mom, so I get the kid, and meanwhile, you have to pay for the child support. After all, you're the one with the job. All you do is work anyway, so I don't even know what you think you would do to even convince to... And all you do is work anyway, so I don't even know what you think you would even say to convince someone that you deserve to have custody over me.
I see what you're saying, and some of that might apply if our daughter was quite a bit younger. But the fact is that Tina is 17 years old. She's practically an adult, and I think that any judge would recognize her ability to choose.
What are you even talking about? Who would ever let some teenager make a decision like that? I've never heard of anything happening like that ever.
Well, it doesn't really matter if you hadn't heard of any of that, because it's the law, so...
Oh, wow. I think you're actually right about this. Well, it's a good thing you told me now so that I knew beforehand about this.
And besides, I'm still in the hospital and still awaiting surgery. So until I've recovered enough from that, there isn't gonna be any divorce happening.
Okay, fine. If that's the way that you want to do it, then I can play your little game. I'll wait this out, but do try to be quick about all of this. Meanwhile, I'll be out looking for a new man to marry.
You mean you're already thinking about getting into another marriage? That seems just a little bit fast, doesn't it? Are you telling me that you were really so unhappy with me the whole time that we were married?
Did you really think everything that I was happy with you? You know, when you think about, you really want to blame yourself for this divorce, you know? All I wanted to be is a housewife, and you're trying to push me out of doing something that I don't want to do. This is all your fault. Can't you see that?
Well, I guess I just don't realize how attached you were to being a housewife and just that. But if all this is true, then why even bother marrying me? I mean, I'm sure there were plenty of other men who could have given you a similar life.
Well, it wasn't that I hated you or anything like that, but I certainly didn't like you either, you know? But you basically had 3 S's, you know?
You mean a stable salary, satisfactory looks, and safe personality? Yeah, you said that to me not long after we started dating, too.
Exactly. And at the time, I just knew someone who had the 3 S's would be perfect for letting me live the housewife that I'd always dream of. That's basically why I married you, and it's also pretty much the same reason why I'm divorcing. So pretty and open and shut case if you ask me.
I see. Well, okay. I guess I'll have to take all of that into account while I think about what we should do. But anyways, I was wondering if you'd be able to come in and stay with me in the hospital while I was having my surgery.
You do realize that I just said that I want to get a divorce from you, right? Of course, I'm not going to go and check out on you in the hospital during your surgery.
Right. I guess that was a pretty silly thing for me to ask of you, right? Well, I'll just let you know when I wake up then.
Great, and don't make it a long message or anything like that either, you know? I don't need to know all about what happened. Just tell me once you're ready to sign the divorce papers.
Hey Dad, are you there? I was just wondering how you're feeling right now. Actually, I just finished with my after-school clubs and there was something that I wanted to ask you.
Oh, hey there, Tina. Yeah, I'm just fine. Thank you so much for asking. And of course, we can talk about anything, sweetie.
I'm so happy you feel that way because I kind of want to talk to you about what was going to be coming next. You see, the thing is that I can't go and visit you in person to talk about this, so I'm really sorry, but we'll just have to talk over text.
Yeah, that's completely fine. But what did you mean about what was going to happen to you in the future? What are you thinking about?
Well, it's just that now that I'm finishing up school, I know that Mom is talking about moving, and I think that she wants me to go with her. Apparently, we're going to be moving into Grandma's house for a while, I guess.
Wow, I really just got out of surgery and she's already moving out? Your mom sure does work fast.
I know, but you two still aren't even legally divorced yet, isn't that right? That's why she's just calling it a separation for now. But I don't know if you can really even call it that when you're here stuck in the hospital.
Oh dear. I really am so sorry that you're going through all of this, Tina. Well, I'm sure that this is something that you never in a million years wanted to hear your parents talk about, right?
Well, I guess I'm kind of used to it by now since Mom is always talking about this now. In fact, basically from the day that she found out that you were sick, I had already noticed that she was talking about getting a divorce from you.
Well, I just don't even know what to say to that. But it seems to me that your mom has let a lot of this go to her head. But I suppose if she's made up her mind, then there really isn't much that we can do about it.
Well, you're certainly right about Mom letting this go to her head. Nowadays, she just spends so much time looking for a new husband. All I do is see her on those dating apps on her phone.
Wow. So, you mean that she really is looking for a new man to marry then?
Well, it's not just that. She's actually found at least one guy that she likes enough to have invited over the house once, and I have to say, he's a pretty handsome guy.
You mean that you had to deal with your mom bringing over a new man to the house? I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Well, like I said, Mom has been acting this way for a while now, so it's really not that surprising. But anyways, I wanted to ask how it feels that you're out of the surgery.
Well, I already talked to your mom about this, but there is something else that I have to tell you and that you can't tell anyone else.
What do you mean? You mean you don't even want me to tell Mom about what you're about to say?
That's right. You see, the doctors told me that the cancer had moved, and that they weren't able to remove all the cancer successfully from my body with the procedure. So, I'll actually be staying in the hospital for a while longer, it seems.
I see, but then what are you going to do?
What I'm not going to do, Tina, is give up, okay? But at the same time, I don't want you to worry about me anymore.
But how can you just ask that of your daughter?
Well, when your mom and I get divorced, you're gonna have to choose which of us you go to live with. But I'm in the hospital bed, and I'd really be no good to you as a father like this.
But you know that Mom is going to get custody of me. Don't I have a say in that?
It's not that I don't want you in my life, but it's just that I think it would serve you better not to worry about me. And what I mean by that is that I want you to choose the life you want based on what you want, and that's it.
I see. Well then, I'm so sorry, Dad, but I think I'll go with Mom. But I think that you're the best dad in the whole wide world, and I'm so sorry that this is happening right now.
It's okay, sweetie. If that's what you think is going to be the best for you, then there's no need to apologize.
Are you really sure about this?
Of course I am. But just don't forget about your old man, okay? And please, always know that I'll just be a phone call away.
Just how much longer are you going to keep me waiting for our divorce? You can't keep me on the hook like this forever, you know.
Oh, sorry, Fiona. I forgot to mention to you that I already sent them off to be processed.
Oh, really? You mean that we're finally divorced? This is amazing news. Thank you so much.
There's just one little thing, however. You see, Tina told me that you were looking for a new man while I was in the hospital.
Well, of course. I was just waiting for you to send the divorce papers, so why wouldn't I be shopping around in the meantime?
Well, it's not just that. Tina told me that you had brought over a man before, you see.
Well, of course, how am I supposed to introduce a man to my daughter in my life if he doesn't come over and see how I live?
Well, it's not just thought. I think that you and this man have been seeing each other for a while. After all, Tina told me that you had even been looking for a new husband ever since you heard about my diagnosis. In fact, I actually hired a private investigator to dig into you and this man, and he found records going back to just before I got sick.
But wait, hold on. You had someone follow me around?
You do realize that when you gave Tina the divorce papers to deliver to me, you had already talked to her about talking to other men before, don't you? It's clear to me that you were using my cancer diagnosis as a way to jump ship and be with this guy whom you were already talking to.
But you mean that Tina had something to do with this as well? I can't believe that little brat would just stab me in the back like that.
I really don't think that you can blame anyone for this except yourself. And now that I have all the evidence I need to prove that you were cheating on me and that you exposed our poor daughter to your horrible scheming, I think now I really am ready for this divorce. But I don't think it's going to end up how you think. After that, I hired a lawyer and sued Fiona for cheating on me while we were married. Though Fiona didn't have the money to pay me for the lawsuit, or even child support for that matter, she agreed to give up any custody of Tina instead. Tina was overjoyed when she realized that she was going to end up with me and that I would have some means to take care of her. During all these proceedings, I also found out that my cancer had gone into remission. So while I still need to be at the hospital for regular treatments, I am back at home and working when I can. Even Tina agreed to find a part-time job, and the two of us are living very happily on our own. I know that nothing in life is guaranteed, but even if I only have a little more time left, I want to spend it being with and taking care of my daughter. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.